Hello and welcome to Raven Wargaming's second YouTube cast. This replay was sent to us by a viewer and really it's pretty good, and I decided I'd like to cast it. And to assist me with that, with me today is the aggressively insulting, trollish NATO Potato.
Hello everyone.
And I guess we'll click start in 3, 2, 1, go. And so there's two teams, 3v3 on Gunboat Diplomacy Conquest. On Blue 4 we have Karis, Sotek, Sparouw, and then on Red 4 we have KGB Iron Felix, MACAPEK CZ, and DuroSVK. And you'll notice there's quite a few ranks here. These guys are pretty top tier players, I guess.
Yeah, they're all pretty good.
Yeah. So on Gunboat Diplomacy, the defining feature of the map is really the river down the middle. It's something you can't really get around, and normally you rush to the river and, for example, Red 4 at Alpha, Blue 4 at Charlie, they try and secure their area of the river so the enemy can't push, and then most of the action occurs on the left flank here at Foxtrot and Gulf. See, that's where a lot of the pings are going. And I kind of think that's a little bit of a map design flaw. I don't like how they have these big maps and then just because of this design everything comes down to that little sector. You have that on a lot of maps like Floods or Apocalypse Imminent. And you have any thoughts on the map, Potato?
Well, I tend to agree with that because I think there's a lot of dead zones on the maps. For instance, on this map, I mean, the left side, when you're not playing a mixed map, which, who does that? There's all this water, it's just empty space for, you know, helo rushes and all sorts of different tactics, I guess. And then the right side, where you have all these mountains, they're really, I mean, they're just there. They don't provide anything to the overall gameplay of the map, which I think is a really poor design choice. They're not utilizing the entire map.
Yeah, so do you want to talk about Blue 4's deployment really quickly?
Yeah, sure. If you look over here, you can see they're kind of going heavy on the helicopters, whereas I think Red 4, which we'll talk about later, doesn't really have a whole lot of helicopters, which is pretty common. Red 4's MI8s are not very good, so you'll see a lot of helo rushes out of Blue 4. Lots of IRAA and non-radar spags, which is also very common. Lots of chaparrals, lots of Avengers. You have some Humvees with what looks like small teams in them. You have Marines with grenade launcher LVTPs. It's a pretty standard opening, very infantry focused, I will say, opening out of Blue 4.
I noticed on Blue 4's at India they have no AA, they start with an attackums, and they have quite a few tanks. It's kind of they also only have one fob between the teams. That's interesting. But just going down to Red 4 really quick, like you said, it's very much a mechanized push. They have BTRs, they have BMPs, they have really a lot of infrared AA too. That's kind of the old meta. I think a lot of people haven't transitioned yet to a new kind of focus on spags. Some have, some haven't. A lot of people really like their Strela 10Ms. The other interesting thing is that Red 4 has 3 fobs, and that's 3 to 1, so that's quite an early game investment. Just real quickly, it looks like on the right side Red 4 has tanks, some AA, and a pretty conventional, and it looks like they're off. We would expect Blue 4 to get to Gulf, get to Foxtrot quicker just because they have helicopters. See, they have a Tiger Hap, which is a AA chopper. Well, it's a multi-purpose AA chopper. It really to guard those Pumas full of infantry. Red 4, oh, they have an interceptor up, or an ASF, but it doesn't look like it's doing much. It's just there to really block early game napalm, I'd say.
And another thing too, kind of elaborate on that Tiger. A lot of people look at it and just look at the Mistrals, but another important aspect of it is the SNEB rocket pods, which is very nice for stunning and killing. Say if Red 4 had gone a chopper rush, they could have killed, if anything that they didn't kill with this Mistrals, they could have killed with the rocket pods. But
Mistral took a shot at the MiG, and the MiG shot down a recon infantry in the chopper. Oh, it's... Wow. I can't believe that got out.
I was really lucky.
Here we go. The Pumas are down. They've got Legion, Oh, that the Tiger Hap is on the ground. That's.
It's a bit of miss micro, I think.
Well, you could
Of
argue
course,
he
too.
did that to protect it from AA, but now well, he's up now. But yeah, I think it would have been much better to have him in the air and firing. He would have gotten a lot more mileage out of it. Just got killed. Blue 4 crossed the river, even on ground. I mean, the river is so much closer to Juliet than it is to Delta. I think this map's a little imbalanced for towards blue, a little biased towards blue, just because. I mean, look, they're already across at two areas, and red just doesn't even. They're on the back foot already, you know.
Yeah, they're just kind of starting to get set up in their zones. Meanwhile, blue is already in all the buildings. The Marines are moving in. The infantry from Red 4 is getting cut down by all those LVTPs at Gulf.
Yeah, that's LVTPs are real strong. They have a grenade launcher. They're only 15 points, and they just massacre infantry. They stun everything.
We got a little bit of probing over on Charlie Bridge. A couple of LVTPs, what looks like
Ooh,
small
yeah,
infantry
small,
going
yeah.
across.
This is why the Red 4 player deployed here, just to keep an eye on that. I think we'll probably see both the Blue 4 player at Charlie and the Red 4 player at Alpha switch over to Golf and Foxtrot. Oh, in the meantime, there's a lot of recon. Look at there's Commandos Para. There's some probably Spetsnaz VMF and a KA-29 TB helicopter. And that's kind of like you're talking about, these wide open flanks. It's just asking for special forces for recon type stuff.
But yeah, like I definitely think there's a place in the game for this kind of, special forces maneuvering in this kind of open area allows it. But I think it would have been much better to, like, where the Pumas and the K-29s are, you could have had another spawn zone, and then there could have been zones on, the farther side of the map. But
Yeah,
I guess
that would
not.
have made a much more interesting map. It would have opened it up to maybe a more 3v or 4v4 type gameplay, maybe. But oh well. Personally, I think this was designed as purely a mixed map, and then they had to had to make it a land map as well because people didn't like naval.
And we see some Mi-24Ps being used to support Red in the city at Foxtrot.
Oh yeah, that's an excellent use of gunships. There's just no, they're just free firing those rockets and really helping Red clear the southeastern bank of Foxtrot. That's real important. They can't let Blue across the river here at Foxtrot because I mean, they're already across the Gulf. They don't want to get pinched out of both of those zones.
And then I think another disadvantage too is that since they're using non-radar spags, if they had perhaps been using this player, I believe, went Eurocore. We couldn't see the decks before the game, but he could have had flak panzers, which could have easily prevented that kind of harassment from those helicopters. It was kind of a drawback of going all non-radar AA.
Yeah, all he's got is Mistral trucks, which are pretty good, but they were really a pre-DLC god tier item, and they're just really good. But now I think with the changes to range, the buffs to specs, they're not the be-all end-all anymore. What do you think about Blue 4 just now entering this forest here on the Red 4 side of Gulf? Normally you'd really want to get there right away, but they've taken 5 minutes to even get tanks in there.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what their thought process was, but it looks like they're going in there with the intention to stay there for a while. They have an HC and two AMX-40s moving in. So I think that's really a miscue on Red's part. They should have secured that forest as well as that little housing block there next to the woods.
Yeah, that's really the toehold across Gulf, and that's real hard to dislodge people from. Red 4 doesn't have any equivalent. Like they can't really make it across Gulf into this tree line where Sotek's Humvee CV is. If they do, it's amphibious. They don't have that bridge like Blue 4 has to get heavy tanks across. So I kind of consider that a map imbalance too. I also have to point out that Red's kind of aggressively hunting down Commandos Para. They've killed pretty much all of the Blue 4 recon, but if we notice, Red managed to get a Spetsnaz VMF. They got him way around the side of the map and dropped him off, and now he's probably gonna have a clear shot to that CV at Juliet.
And it looks like Blue 4 has just spotted Duro's T80UM. We've got two pings on it.
Oh yeah, yeah. The
We got a
T80UM's.
command.
What about a command? Oh
There's a
yes,
command
yes.
moving into
Foxtrot.
Foxtrot. Neutralize. Well, Blue spotted it as well.
Yeah, they really need to get that there quick because Blue already had Foxtrot's a 2-point zone, and Blue had their CV there for a while. That's why the points are even now, really.
He even pinged the exact position where the UAZ stopped.
Oh
It's
yeah,
kind of unfortunate.
yeah, it might be a little unfortunate. I see a ATACMS back there is taking aim. I wonder what it's shooting at.
Now we got a Caesar moving up too.
Oh,
Also,
yes.
that Spetsnaz VMF has landed. He's moving into the back spawn. I don't think Blue knows.
No, if they knew, they would have sent stuff back there. Oh, quickly on the water side, you have Cobra's Recon. Those are 55-point helicopters. You got Navy SEAL. They're really investing a lot into reconning that, and I think that's a lot of points to spend just sending over the water. I think just one Cobra on the far leftmost Cobra would have probably done, to be honest.
Blue 4 just lost their HC and one AMX-40 to a Smirch battery in Gulf on that force.
Oh yeah, yeah. From MACAPEK. Nighthawk coming in. I don't know what he's hitting. Oh, I wonder if he's going for the CV.
I think he's just making sure it doesn't get hit by any AA. He's coming in. It looks like either.
You got the CV.
Yep.
That was a pretty good night. See, I think had Red 4 had some longer range AA, that because Strela 10Ms, Iglas, they just don't have very long anti-plane range, so they didn't really have a chance to even pick off that Nighthawk, whereas a Tunguska might have had a little more of a shot.
And I see here too, Joro is using a T-62 MV1. I assume he's just using it for the Archons, but
Just
I
got
think
killed.
he would have been much better off using just a BMP-3 for an Archon carrier.
Yeah, I agree. I think the T-62 line's overpriced. Red just pinged. There's a Navy SEAL sneaking along the river, or along the water here, but Red 4, their position, they have a man pad ready to intercept it, it looks like. Second Smirch might be in danger, though. No, Red 4 sees that their man pad's coming in, they'll get him.
Yeah, we got a Barentino moving up to the front, coming through Echo.
Oh, yep, there he is. See, MACAPEK, who has the Buratino, he's the one who originally deployed to Alpha, so you're really seeing him shifting. He's really kind of playing a support player. It looks like he's got the Buratino, he's got Smirches. Yeah, he's really just kind of focusing on supporting his two buddies, and I think Red 4, probably their priority right now is to really push Blue off of Gulf and back across the river, because until they eliminate that toehold, they're in a really bad position.
And it looks like right now we just kind of have minor infantry skirmishes in Foxtrot. Which, to be honest, I think Red 4 could very easily move in and push this infantry out of his housing block. Because all we have is we have 2 blocks of sapeurs and we have 2 blocks of chasseurs, which I don't think it's the best thing to have there on the front line. Of course, you have the Milan F3s across the river as well, though. So.
Oh, looks like the Red 4's pinging here or here. Maybe they're, I think, contemplating a push. Spetsnaz VMF, they're right up next to that Humvee. They're going to see it here in a second. In fact, the only reason they don't is because I think they're down a little ways on a ridge. Until they get up this ridge, they won't be able to see it.
Actually, what I think that those pings were for, I think he's trying to figure out what he wants to Buratino.
Oh, you're right, yeah.
Moving in now.
Yeah, my napalm, he says. Yeah, there's the Buratino.
There's a Nighthawk, another Nighthawk coming in. Oh, right on those Mach Schutzen. That hurt. I went from 20 to 8. 8
Oh, yeah.
guys in the squads.
Yeah, you're right. They got napalmed and Nighthawked and everything. Looks like they've decided to... Oh, Red 4 found the Humvee, but it looks like their Spetsnaz died, but they were able to ping it. Duro's firing Mistas. Oh, even a Smirch at it. Yeah, they're gonna kill that. Blue 4 really should have moved that as soon as they saw the Spetsnaz, I think.
That was a very careless mistake.
Oh yeah, they're really napalming the hell out of Gulf right now. If I were them, I probably wouldn't have napalm where they did. I would have napalm more of the forest and the complex next to it, and then pushed up through there. Because even if you take where they Buratino, then you still get shot from two sides. You can't really hold it very well until you secure that forest.
I also think this highlights the need for some sort of mortar to be able to fire and make a wall of smoke down that riverbank.
Oh yeah, they're getting eaten up by that Leclerc. The LVTPs are crossing. Yeah, it would really be nice if they could just wall that off. I think a lot of people just don't use enough smoke.
We got another Leclerc moving in to the woods on the right side of Gulf, or left side, depending on your perspective.
Yeah, I see him. I was gonna say they really don't have many tanks. I only see 4 blue 4 tanks in total. And only 2 of them are on the Gulf side of the river, so that's... You're right, I think if Red 4 really kind of got some... Oh, Attack Him's just got a T-72S. Ooh.
Yeah, that'll definitely hurt.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think if Red 4 maybe had a few cheaper tanks to support their heavier tanks and then just did a push into Gulf, I think they could probably pull it off.
Another note too, if Red 4 had mortars, they could have smoked the right down the vertical line at Foxtrot, or down the river, so it would neutralize all of Blue 4's high AP ATGMs in the buildings, and then they could have very, very easily just moved in and pushed Blue out of that river, which would have given them another angle of attack onto the middle complex at Gulf.
You mean push them across the river into the Blue 4 side of Foxtrot?
No, I'm saying they could have smoked. You see where the bridges are on Foxtrot? If they would have smoked that vertical, like that line, just smoked the river
yeah.
And then they could have moved in where those chasseurs and sapeurs and the Leclerc is.
Yeah, that's what
would have given them a double angle attack onto the building complex rather than having to come from where Blue 4 has their tanks set up on the other riverbank.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, really, if you look at the Blue 4 side of Foxtrot, there are 1 Milan team, 2 Chaucers, and 1 Commandos pair, and then a sorted AA. Oh, 2 Milan teams, 4 Chaucers, and then a sorted AA. But really, I mean, that's pretty weak. I mean, I think Red 4 kind of got into the idea that Foxtrot was just really heavily defended. You know, we can't cross that bridge, but I mean, there's 4 bridges here. You can really get across into Foxtrot pretty easily, and then just with smoke, with a good push, I think they really could have started contesting Foxtrot, and then that would have pulled forces away from Gulf to counter that.
And I think another thing too is that Blue 4, I'm looking right now, they have two or three combats, an M1A1, and several M1 IPs and assorted HGM carriers, all defending Charlie. Meanwhile, Red 4 only has 2 Su-122s, a T-72BU, and a B. And all those points tied down on the left flank, doing absolutely nothing for Blue 4 in the fight over on the right side of the map. I think that's really hurting them.
Well, I think they probably have similar numbers of points deployed, but if I was MACAPEK, I probably would have taken that BU off of Alpha at least, and I mean, he has all those Su-122. Yeah, I really would have pulled defenses away from Alpha, because really, I mean, if you see someone coming at Alpha, you can just napalm the bridge. It's not that hard to defend. I think it would have been worth it to really push up for an attack, because look at how far behind Red's getting. They're 70 points behind right now. It's just getting worse. They're really not going to be able to secure Gulf, it doesn't look like it. Blue's really entrenched there.
And Red 4 just narrowly avoided losing a very valuable ATGM plane. Kind of sent it in, I guess, at a target, lost sight, and then it just kind of very lazily flew over enemy lines. Managed to evac, though.
Yeah. I notice Red has a seat up, but Blue has no... I don't see any radar AA at all on Blue 4's side.
I haven't seen any radar AA on this side of the map from either team. I think there's a... I think I saw...
There's a book and a Tunguska Alpha. 2 books and a Tunguska Alpha, but I think you're right, that's all. I mean, really, everybody, I think, is a little seed shy, and they're really going for the infrared. Again,
I thought I saw a tour around here somewhere, but I guess I was seeing things. Oh, we got a defense marker on the T80, double T80 UM out of Duro.
Is an attackums coming? Yeah, they're aiming an attack. I think they're firing on that. If I was Red, I probably wouldn't have hit in that bush so much. I would have dispersed my tanks throughout the town and moving them up through the buildings. Up cluster bomber.
Mirage.
Oh yeah, I think they're gonna attack them and cluster bomb and try and get these tanks. They hit a UM. Didn't do too much damage. Oh, here's Blue 4 pushing up though. Smirch on Golf. It's hurting that Leclerc. It might. Yeah, killed it. More cluster bombs.
Leclerc.
Yeah, the Leclerc died.
They're gearing up for an assault onto the across the bridges. It looks like.
Who is red or blue?
Blue. Have several Ontos,
yeah.
1-3s, and Marines and LVTPs gearing up.
I think red's really missing an opportunity here. They don't have any It's just 4 T-72s with some heavy tanks behind them to cover. But if they'd had maybe 8 or 9 infantry squads to move in on foot and help secure this bank of Gulf, I think that would have really just done a lot more.
And to come back to our earlier point, smoke as well. I think if they had smoked those, the Claire and the M1A1, that their cheaper tanks would have been a lot more effective because they wouldn't have to be worried about getting side shot from across the river.
Looks like Red's CV hunting and Gulf with a Smirch are just trying to break up those tanks they know is there. 2 Hornets
Double
coming
Hornet.
in. What are they going for? A Wilk? Hit a T-72, missed the Wilk.
Killed all the T-72s, but I think he missed his real target.
Yeah.
And the T-80UMs just went down.
Oh yeah, Tacum's got him, yeah. Again, I think they had infrared AA, so they couldn't really hit those Hornets very well. I mean, the Hornets were already really on evac before they started to get shot at. I think a book or something would have helped out a lot there.
It looks like it's Red's turn to probe onto Charlie. Have a couple BMP-2s moving across. Mott shoots the 90 squads. I think that was a little bit of a waste to use on a probing attack.
Yeah. There's also what are those? More Sky Pehota across the river, but that's the problem with amphibious attacks. There's not enough power to really hold ground. Here's Blue coming across that Foxtrot.
They get in there with those LVTPs.
Yeah, well, there and also they're really making a two-pronged attack. They're shoring up Gulf, and they're also trying to cross the river to Foxtrot and just hit Red on 2 sides. This is pretty good use of what they have here at Foxtrot. They cross the river with infantry. They have Ontos behind with fire support, but it's not very much. It's maybe more of a diversion so they can shore up Gulf, which I think is a winning strategy. Strike Eagle and Hornet up. Thunderbolt going for BU. Yeah, he got it.
He manages to get it. We've got an HC, a Leclerc, and an AMX-40 moving in as well into Gulf.
Yeah, they're gonna fire across that river.
And Red's utilizing an MI-4, which has the same rocket pods as the MI-24P. It's on a much cheaper platform. They're using it to suppress that infantry in that housing block. We got a bit of an amphibious assault going on in Foxtrot as well, on the left side.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to earlier. They didn't send enough really, so I think it was a diversion more than anything. Because really, the Blue Force streaming back across Gulf, they have all that little town reinforced. Nighthawk. Let's see, shooting Gornostrelki and Spetsnaz. And he doesn't kill anything. No. Oh. Oh, what did that Syria just kill? The M1A1HC, I think?
Yeah, I think it did get it. That's unfortunate. And though Claire has an optical failure.
Oh, yeah.
From the Smirch, I believe.
Probably, yeah. If you have an optical failure, you're not going to be able to shoot until time runs out. Tacum's going for something. Hornet, Strike Eagle. What are they hitting?
Looks like they're circling for targets. Sparouw launches a beacon. He's pinging the Smirch. Guess they've had enough.
No, if Red had ASF stuff, this is a pretty dangerous use of a Strike Eagle. I mean, it's just circling, not doing anything. You really want to send those out and risk them for as short a period of time as possible. Buratino.
Yeah.
Oop, see, they tried. Oh, did they get that strike? Yeah, they got the strike eagle. They sent ASFs at it and picked it off. That
Yeah,
was a big mistake I blew for.
yeah, I don't really know that one of the biggest advantages of Blue 4 is that they have such a high prevalence of air that's very useful later on in the game, and then wasting it like that I think is a very big mistake. And speaking of mistakes, I think using the Burrentino, he fires the Burrentino in the middle of Gulf, but he doesn't take advantage of it. He's using it almost as a harassment tool, which I don't think is a very proper use of it.
Yeah, I would have definitely coordinated with a push. There's a little bit of a push going in, but it's just I don't know. I think the difference in this sort of gameplay between ours is they're kind of a constant low intensity, sending in a few squads. It's just a little skirmish that never really quite ends, whereas I tend to more prefer a big build-up and a grand push.
I think it's a little bit of probing as well. He's just trying to see exactly what's in there, you know, kind of get a feel for the unit composition so you can come in with another counter. But it looks like we have a lot of Marines coming in to reinforce that building sector at Gulf. Got a Rafale up on cap as well.
And those Marines can reinforce it real easy. All they gotta do is drive through the river. I just, yeah. It's so hard for Red to push here, because really, Blue doesn't right now, but they can just cover this forest here, they can be in this forest. It's just so hard to take that industrial complex, and even if you do, they just hit you from two sides. You really can't hold it. It doesn't do much for you. So I don't think this is a very good approach for Red for all the effort they're expending here.
Blue just lost another Prowler. Depending on what player had it, that's his second Prowler. He's not going to get another one.
I was going to say it doesn't matter, but now I see Red's actually got some radar AA up. I think they're sick of the planes. I see 2 books, a Cub M4 and a Tunguska. Man, who's ever KGB Iron Fist, he's really harassing them with that Syria, but he overcommitted there.
Well, unfortunately he didn't fire the second missile. He could have got himself a Leclerc, but
yeah, I don't know if he lost sight or what happened there, but yeah, that was a little strange. Double Hornet.
Going for the T-80A. We got it.
Yep.
We lost one Hornet.
Oh.
The other one's going out on the evac, and
oh man, he lost that one too. Yeah, that just shows. I mean, that radar A is what got him. All the books turned on, and they all fired and got him.
it was rather unfortunate. We see Red 4 resupplying their infantry on the front lines at Foxtrot.
Yeah. It's probably not a bad idea. They see all those LVTPs and Marines lined up on the other side of the bank there coming at them.
I think Blue Force kind of neglected their infantry. Both of their Milan teams over here have been out of rockets for quite some time now.
Oh, at Foxtrot, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you notice, Red Buratino'd the corner of Foxtrot. I think they killed or just made the CV move off, so they finally kind of stopped the bleeding on points, at least till Blue gets a CV back there, because they're behind almost 200 points now. Or I guess 160.
SU-24M didn't do too much. It's going to cluster bomb, or not cluster bomb, but carpet bomb the Gulf complex.
You see all these BTR-60s moving up? It looks like MACAPEK's really... I don't know if those are more Skya or Motostrokey or what. Probably Motostrokey, but yeah, it looks like he's kind of thinking that the Gulf isn't working and they need to push Foxtrot. I probably agree with that. Foxtrot just... Though you have to cross the river, I think it's a lot easier to actually attack, especially looking at it from a replay perspective where you can see there's no tanks there, there's just some helicopters and a little bit of infantry.
And I'm not really sure what Blue's doing here. They're kind of sending these Marines to their death, really. I think he's wisely pulled off.
Yeah. Well, and Blue's in a stronger position right now. I mean, they've got a +1 advantage. They have a toehold on Red side of the river, so I think you could say they're just harassing and probing. And but yeah, I think those LVTPs are a little bit wasted there. The thing is, I
The
don't.
Y-24Ps are coming forward, mopping up the rest of the Marines.
Oh yeah.
And here comes the Motor Strelky, or BTR-60s, moving into Gulf.
Oh yeah. Blue or red is finally making some progress there.
Pushing them out of those woods.
That's pretty big. I mean, if you hold those woods, then it's just you can't get neutralized in Gulf quite as easily. They can get a CV in there. They can use those woods as firing positions to cross into the blue side of Gulf, or just, I mean, they can do a lot with that. Smirch going for the CV at Foxtrot.
And to kind of
Got
elaborate
it.
on those woods too, it allows them to have a firing position on the reinforcements coming in from Juliet to reinforce the blue force side of Foxtrot. So
Yeah,
it
that's
really
true
hurts
too.
blue. Looks like Sotek's telling him to move his infantry command in. Oh. Almost sniped the infantry command with 2 Igla in squads, just missed it.
Yeah. I hear there's a Buratino fire. Oh, I think they're gonna push. Now, yeah, look, there's BTR, there's BMP3s crossing the river. Yeah, Red 4 really needs to do something because Blue 4's got him right now.
And look, Duro's calling in more reinforcements into that side. He's moving
Yeah.
the Panther up, but I don't think, yeah, those Igalaans just mopped it up.
I think Red 4 smells blood here, and they're right. Look at how weakly defended this is.
Not only is there no heavy armor, but the Milan teams that were meant to hold this side of the zone, they haven't been reinforced, so, or resupplied rather, so they're just kind of dead points just sitting here, not doing much for blue team.
A lot of Abrams, a lot of helicopters, a lot of stuff being bought here and sent to Foxtrot. I think Blue, they want to save Foxtrot, it looks like.
And red smirching the woods at Gulf again. You know, Sotek picking defense.
Yeah. It's not like they really got much, but yeah, that's good just to keep them suppressed.
You got an Avenger system. You know, Blue lost a heavy hog to Su-27S's. That'll really hurt them.
They got Gorno Strelky in the corner of Gulf and Foxtrot. I mean, even without capturing that woods, they're kind of harassing the reinforcements there with those ATGM light infantry.
It looks like he's gonna get an Avenger here.
Oh,
Yeah, you got it. Oh,
oh, gave it a major
just
fuel
missed
leak.
it.
Well, they just bombed Red 4. Yeah, Red 4's... I don't know, they're streaming across that river. Here's Duro's Mortal Strelky coming up. They got tanks. They got... Oh, this is pretty much a bleed for Blue 4. It's going to be really hard to...
Strelky are gonna get an M1 IP as well.
Yeah, I think they're going to get a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they just went elite, killed an M1 IP. And here comes the Delphins.
I was about to say the best thing Blue could probably do is use all their napalm bombers to seal the gap and try and get it, but there's Red 4 doing exactly that in the opposite direction. That's just disrupting Blue 4 and really buying Red 4 time to get into Foxtrot. See, there's a Smirch, I think. Yeah, they're smirching Blue, kind of compounding the issue. Looks like they might kill some tanks.
It's really just a traffic jam here.
Moderna pushing up.
And we got a doom stack of Spetsnaz moving in,
Oh yeah.
supported by Morskaya Pehota. And a lone Avenger system out on the side here looks like it's getting hunted down by BTR 60s.
Oh, Rafael didn't quite get that Moderna. I think he's gonna go down. Yeah, he went down. I noticed.
27S's are hunting it.
Ooh, did they get that
They got him
Rafael?
on the
Yep,
evac.
they got him. Yeah. I think Red 4 has the KA-29 up there in the corner still. Could probably get it through there and get another CV, to be honest.
Only thing stopping him is this AH-1J.
Yeah. I think Red 4 is concentrating on bigger things right now, though. Look at that. There's a lot of infantry. This is kind of the big infantry push I've been wanting all along, and here Red 4 is delivering. We've got pretty... Oh, it's just BMPT coming up, tanks back across the river. I mean, Blue 4 is almost pushed out of the zone entirely at this point.
Another thing that's hurting Blue 4 is their Caesar sitting back here in spawn is out of shells because they've used up the only fob they have with the TACMs.
Yeah,
so
I think you're right.
They don't have any artillery support. They have to rely completely on planes.
Nighthawks hitting the Morskaya. Well, that didn't really do too much, to be honest. Look at that. There's Mi-24Ps just free firing on Blue 4. Those Avengers aren't quite close enough to stop them.
It looks like Blues deployed most of their chaparral systems on that left flank.
Here,
on Blues'
here come
left
the
flank.
AA. Oh, an artillery shell took out that Mistral as was trying to kill the... And then the artillery, yeah. Red 4 is really using... Yeah, Buratino. Let's go look at Red 4's fobs. They still have... They have one fob with a little bit left, but they're really using their artillery to great effect here, just keeping up the pressure and hammering the reinforcements. They're not letting Blue 4 regroup or recuperate at all. And look, they've abandoned even trying to take Gulf. They're going. They have Foxtrot. Foxtrot's a 2-point zone too. Yeah, they can win just by holding Foxtrot with +1.
That Burantino strike has almost killed all of Blue 4's AA over here as well. The last Avenger is sitting there panicked with 1 health.
Yeah, you're right.
And here comes a Yak-38.
Just a little more napalm. All the Smirch, all these Mistas, Buratinos, Bombers, it's really... I think Blue 4 is a little overwhelmed. Their AA net is dead. They can't stop it. They can't even really counter battery the enemy artillery because they're having to work so hard to keep their... Look, they're calling out cargo trucks to resupply their ATACMs.
And then the one M1A1 they actually had on Foxtrot front just got killed by a Syria 30. So now they're down to just an AMX 40 as their heavy armor, which isn't exactly heavy.
He's got 2 Su-27s up. He should be protecting his 24s. He probably will in a second. Yeah, I think he'll get that block.
Yep.
But yeah, that's a real good use, just having them on cap behind Foxtrot, because he's really... I think whatever bombers NATO is sending right now, they're really getting picked off. This Phantom looks a little desperate. I don't know what he's... Yeah, he got stunned. Boom.
Looks like Red has some T-80s moving in.
Oh yeah, look at that. T-80s, Wilkes.
There's just no armor here to counter anything Red 4's thrown at him.
Yeah, this is a real good push by Red 4. I think it's probably the end of the game too, to be honest. I don't see how Blue 4 can recover. I mean, if I was Blue 4, I'd really have moved this Leclerc, this M1A2, and I'd have moved a lot of this stuff. I mean, look, there's all these tanks in Charlie and in Gulf. They could really... This is kind of a crisis moment. I'd be deploying them to the left and do one last charge to try and throw the enemy back across Foxtrot, because that's the only way you're going to win at this point.
Yeah, I think it was kind of one of those things that they just kind of let slip in the heat of the moment. And then not only that, is they resupplied their ATACMs and they never fired them. They're sitting back here refilled but not aiming.
I noticed one of the ATACMs is elite. I'm sure they've been doing a lot of good just sniping T-80UMs and stuff, but yeah, I think you're right. I think the kind of tendency is to just keep spawning in units and focusing on Foxtrot, and yeah, it's always good to kind of zoom out and understand, oh, I've got all these other assets over here and I really need to just all into Foxtrot. Well, look at all this stuff Red 4 has. I mean, heavy tanks, I count 3 heavy tanks, 3 medium tanks, all kinds of infantry.
I think at this point they almost should just call it in.
The game ends in 2 minutes. I think they probably do.
We got a Cassiope. Desperate last call in.
Gun run. Here comes a Mirage SF. No, his Su-27s are there to intercept.
Oh, he dropped his bombs, but I don't
Yeah.
know. He got 9 Spetsnaz for his plane.
It's another thing, all these chaparrals, yeah, I'm sure it's at this point GG.
It looks like they were getting ready to try something on the left flank, but
Yeah, Cobra's
they
coming
thought
in.
better of it.
Yeah, just one last thing. I mean, there's this AA over here, and I would have pulled almost everything out of these zones to try and get there. But you know, at this point, it's just good game, I think. Yeah,
I
look
think
at
it
this
was a
big
very
push.
good game. Very good game from both sides, but it's one last desperate hoorah. Yep, and the BU's there to welcome them across the river.
Yeah, this is so hard to push right here. I don't know really what the game design was for this area other than to put ships in this cove area and use it to support an attack, because there's no way you can get across this bridge. Look, Malicep, or MACAPEK, sorry, MACAPEK pings, he's probably going to napalm it, certainly going to smirch it, Mista, whatever. I mean, there's such a killing zone here.
Yeah, there's no room to maneuver at all, which, if Blue had mortars to smoke, it might have been a little bit of a different story, but in the end of the day, it's just a very poor place to try and attack.
No, here we go, here's the napalm, yeah.
There's an attackums coming in across the map. I wonder what he's shooting at. Blind firing
Book,
Mercedes,
or...
I think.
Yeah, you're right, I think. And this isn't a dig against the Blue 4 team. They're just attacking here for fun at the end of the game. But yeah, it's just, this place is so hard to attack. You can only really do it if you really take your enemy by surprise, and if he's been pouring resources into the city over there. MI8s, yeah, it's... So I guess the game's pretty much over, just a few seconds left. Congratulations to KGB Iron Phoenix, MACAPEK CZ, and DuroSVK, but Karas, Sotek, and Sparouw played pretty well. I've played everybody in this game, and they're all really top-notch players. I enjoy my games with them. But what'd you think of that, just in closing, as we look at the kill screen here?
I think it was a very good game. I think Blue kind of missed some opportunities that they could have, if they would have taken advantage of. I think the outcome would have been a little bit different, but I think Red did a very good job at spotting a weakness and taking advantage.
Yeah, it was Blues to lose. All they had to do was hold Foxtrot, and they just kind of neglected it, and then Red 4 really capitalized on that. I mean, look at Duro's kills. Red 4 was really a lot more efficient with their units, it looks like. I'm a little surprised. I thought with how much Red 4 was throwing into the industrial complexes at Gulf, I thought for sure they would have taken a lot more losses, but really it's almost 2-1.
And I think that's another thing to point out as well, that one of the misconceptions about Conquest is that losses don't really matter, but that's not really true. If you don't take care of your units by the end of the game, you're going to be out of units, and you're not going to be able to defend or attack. You won't be able to do anything. So unit preservation is a very important aspect of Conquest that I think doesn't really get mentioned enough.
Yeah, I totally agree. I definitely prefer Conquest over Destruction, even if people say it's spammy. I think it's just a better game mode, but that's a topic for another video. I think we'll probably wrap it up here. Like I said, congratulations to the victors, and the losers also played pretty well. Thanks for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe, and also comment. I'd really love feedback on the videos and the quality, and this is our first dual cast, so just what people thought of that. Anyways, thanks for watching. This is Raven signing off.